Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Outspoken Samantha. So today we're going to dive into a little bit of celebrity gossip, but I do think that there is an important point to this story, other than just talking about whatever antics people in Hollywood are up to. And it is the latest buzz surrounding Jojo Siwa, who, as some of you probably know, is a former Dance Mom star. She's got a huge, successful music career, if you could call it music. She's got a product line, she's got merchandise, you name it, and she has a large and loyal fan base. And while this girl's name is always in the headlines over some extreme antic or some relationship drama, her name is front and center today due to the revelation of a surprising new relationship between herself and celebrity Big Brother UK co-star Chris Hughes. This isn't just any relationship between a couple of reality TV stars. Jojo has come out repeatedly over the last few years with different gender identities, from non-binary to lesbian to queer. But coming out as straight seems to be the thing that is shocking people the most. So we're going to get into all of this and the points that I think actually need to be discussed. But before we get into too much more of this, please hit the thumbs up button on this video, and I would love it if you would subscribe and help me to grow this channel. I appreciate you so much for doing both of those things. So let's get into the story of Jojo Siwa. Now, before we get into what's going on today, we do need to take a trip down memory lane. So for those of you who might not know exactly who she is or how she became famous, Jojo Siwa, born Joelle Joni Siwa, burst onto the scene at just 9 years old on the show Dance Moms in 2013. With her oversized bows and this boundless energy, she quickly became a fan favorite. By 2016, she was a Nickelodeon darling, starring in shows like Jojo Siwa, My World, and releasing bubblegum pop hits like Boomerang, which racked up over 1 billion YouTube views. She also built a massive following, 45 million people on TikTok alone, selling out tours and launching a merchandise empire. Now, if this girl wasn't getting enough attention, in 2021, Jojo made history as part of the first same-sex couple on Dancing with the Stars, a bold move that cemented her as a figure for all things gender and LGBTQ, marking one of many moves that has made aspects of her public journey controversial, especially as she has navigated this identity in full view of so many young, impressionable fans. Over the last couple of years, Jojo has been very loud and proud about her identity. She initially identified as pansexual, then a lesbian, and she wore her pride gear loudly across the stage and in her TikTok videos, while she did things like lip sync to Lady Gaga's Born This Way and sporting a best gay cousin ever t-shirt. She has made a point of incorporating her sexuality and her gender identity into every aspect of her performances, of her public image, of like every conversation. And in my opinion, it was this level of dedication to the LGBTQ cause that has largely contributed to her success in music. Because I don't know if you know this, but Jojo Siwa can't sing.
No, nobody, no, nobody, no, no, nobody, no, nobody can change me, change me. You're still a traitor.
I honestly believe that Jojo has been used by Hollywood to push this propaganda out there and influence young people to accept it as normal and influence more of these kids and teens into becoming part of this community. In my opinion, she has been used as a prop, just like Dylan Mulvaney. It is not based on their actual talent or skills, but their willingness to go out there and make it a part of their public image and be popular for it. She has also had several very public relationships with women, including the one that she was actually in with a gal named Kath Ebbs, while she was developing these feelings for the male co-star in question today. Apparently, this is where everything changed when Jojo went on Celebrity Big Brother UK and spent a significant amount of time with a man without the influence of social media, because they do have to give up their devices during their time on the show. That's all it took for her to say that she's not a lesbian. Now she is calling herself queer because it's supposed to mean that she's taking on a broader label for herself to make this appear acceptable to her fans.
Always told myself you think being here, I realized, oh no, I'm not lesbian, I'm queer. You are. And I think that's really cool. You are. I'm switching letters.
So she's not entirely abandoning the LGBTQ pride movement. She is trying to stay in their good graces because pride is pretty much synonymous with her name. So she's taking on this new label to avoid outright admitting that she might actually just be straight, because that admission would not be allowed at this point. But this is where she opens up and we get we get a full revelation, an undeniable revelation that Jojo Siwa has feelings for a dude.
Yeah. You're gonna go home and you got a life, big life out there.
Yeah.
You know? I'll send you a present when you go home, because that's appreciation, because you're gonna have to give me your address though. You're such a sweetheart. Like I can't, like, honestly, if when people ask me about you, all I will tell them is like, she is the sweetest, kindest, most genuine human being like you can come across. And
don't make me more sad right now.
No, but it's true. Like but that is you.
Love you.
No, honestly, I love you. You're one of my favorite people I've ever come across.
Genuinely,
like
back at you.
Literally, like.
And I never thought I would say that to a straight man.
And I think what she is struggling with in that moment is coming to terms with the fact that her entire public image has been centered on this one particular message. She has dedicated so much time and energy to this particular cause, being their ally, speaking out on all of their different messages and their different ideas and promoting them across the world, only to realize she's just like about 99% of the population. But here is why I think all of this matters in the broader conversation, because this is something that I have talked about a lot. We repeatedly hear from people pushing LGBTQ propaganda on young people and fighting tooth and nail in their dedication to trans activism. Their message is that these identities are totally normal and just a normal part of human existence, and that they're not influencing people to be anything other than who they already are. They're just giving them permission to be open and proud of who they are, whether they be queer, lesbian, non-binary, or one of the 197 genders. And they're the ones really opening up everybody's eyes to how we're really supposed to be, which is that we're not just men and women. And by us continuing to force that reality on others, it's oppressive and it infringes on the rights of people who aren't girly girls or manly men. The truth is, the reason that these identities have exploded and that these destructive ideologies have exploded is because of the messaging, the books, the parades, the flags, social media influence, and driving it all home with public figures, whether it be in entertainment or official positions of government or through your teacher, your doctor, or your therapist. Then the nail in the coffin has come from reinforcing these ideas with rewards, whether it be fame, popularity, promotions, making it something for people to want to aspire to so that they can reap the benefits of it as well. It is deep-rooted programming, and I think that JoJo has not only been completely subject to it, she has been used by Hollywood to further it, and she has used her allyship in this movement to gain attention. It is a very toxic and unhealthy dynamic. So now she spends a little bit of time with a man, no influence from anyone, just allowed to feel what she wants to feel without persuasion or distraction, and suddenly she's head over heels for a guy. And I think this is just one more blatant demonstration of how toxic these ideas are and how much of this does come from influence and brainwashing, whether it be through books and movies, being pushed through social media platforms, reinforced with rewards, and then those who have been influenced by it sticking with it because they're afraid of what people are going to think if they admit the truth. And it shows that kids are not choosing these things on their own, and when they commit to it, they might find themselves stuck because there is more fear associated with breaking away from it after all of the love bombing and attention they receive for deciding to be a part of it. These raging activists go from loving these kids to turning on them and targeting them with harassment and threats when they change their mind. I think this gal had a great take on it that summarizes it perfectly.
If you're unfamiliar with Jojo Siwa and what's been going on in her life as of the last couple of years, I'll do a quick recap. Jojo Siwa became famous on the show Dance Mom. She was a child star. She was on Nickelodeon. I believe she was on Dancing with the Stars. She produced her own music, became a phenomenon for little girls everywhere, and as of the last couple of years, came out as gay. She's only 21 years old. She's been in the limelight her entire life, and a few years ago, she doused herself in rainbows, changed her whole aesthetic, and said, "Hey world, I'm gay, I'm brave, I'm empowered." This was seen as brave and empowering, and JoJo finally living her truth and being a good example. After some tumultuous relationships in the public eye, Jojo Siwa ended up with a girl from the UK. Her name is Kath, and they had their public relationship. Here's where it gets messy. Jojo Siwa was recently on the reality show Big Brother, where she came out as non-binary. Now, this is really interesting to me because when asked how she came to that conclusion, Jojo said, "Well, I've met a lot of non-binary people and I just really relate to them." Which led me to the question, what if she hadn't? What if no one ever told Jojo, "Hey, you might be non-binary"? Jojo very quickly and very publicly developed feelings for her co-star Chris, and the whole world went, "Wait a minute, isn't she gay? Wait a minute, doesn't she have a lesbian partner at home who's watching this entire thing go down?" Spoiler alert, JoJo is out of the Big Brother house and has ended her relationship with her partner Kath, stating that she just feels confused after being in the house. My hot take, JoJo was never gay. She was discovering herself. She was figuring things out. She was pressured into being gay because it was the cool in thing and all of her friends were gay. But the minute she spent significant time with a man, she realized, I kind of like this. Prediction, JoJo comes out as either straight or bisexual, and the entire world turns on her. Her sponsorships drop, and everybody hates her because how could you? We only liked you when we thought you were gay.
So you guys let me know what you think. A couple of years ago, I do remember saying in a few years, we're going to have a bunch of young adults coming out as straight because when they get a chance to grow and mature and explore their identity without all of this influence around them, they're going to realize that they were convinced to participate in something that they didn't believe in and to accept an identity that doesn't make any sense. I hope every single one of them lets go of the fear that they have about being honest about it. But I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Again, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button on this video. I would love it if you would subscribe. I am trying to grow this channel. I appreciate you so much for being here. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.